Hello, everyone. Welcome to our workshop today regarding improved mobility for our NITRO applications and NITRO web parts. My name is James Restivo from Crow Canyon Software. If you've been here before, you know the spiel. We have these workshops. Lately, it's been about once a month, but usually we try to do a couple times a month. We'll do a workshop where we go over some new features of NITRO, new things that we've been releasing or working on, and if you have any feedback on any of these sessions or anything that we go over, certainly happy to take that. We also have a questions box in the GoToWebinar panel, so if you have a question at any point in time, go ahead and pop it in there. And also, if you want to raise your hand, I can go ahead and unmute you. We have a relatively small contingent today on the workshop, so if you want to go ahead and raise your hand and ask a question instead of typing it in the box, if you think it makes more sense to do that, we can do that. We're open to questions about anything about what we talk about today, about if anything that's been on your mind regarding NITRO in general. Just happy to have any conversation about regarding NITRO that you want to talk about. So what I want to focus on today for the purposes of this workshop are what different things that you can do to configure your NITRO site, whether it's an application or a general NITRO site, to be more mobile friendly. Now, Microsoft has put some things in place in SharePoint, especially in the modern UI. If you're on Office 365 or SharePoint 2019 or above, you have access to this modern UI, which is a little more responsive to the size of the screen, more so than the classic UI, which would be found in SharePoint 2016 and 2013 and 2010, if you guys are still using that. Hopefully not, because that support has ended a long time ago. Anyway, I just want to show you some things that we're doing here. And I brought up, I actually emulated my phone over here on the side, so we can do a side-by-side comparison of what it looks like from the desktop mode and what it's going to look like from the mobile mode of the same web part. It's going to be the same web page. We're going to be going to the same page, of course. So we're going to be able to see that side-by-side comparison of the exact same page in your SharePoint desktop site and your mobile site, right? So that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to focus on a couple things. And from a mobility perspective, we already have a lot of things in place that you guys have probably seen before or are aware of, or some of these things we have released over time. So you might be familiar with these mobile modes that I'm going to show you for some of these web parts already. But in case you're not, we'll go through that today. But one thing I want to point out that's already there is this this concept of responsiveness here within our tiles and dials web part, for instance, where we have these same tiles and dials we have over here on the left-hand side are rearranged over here on the mobile side to be a little different. You can see we stack up the reports a little differently, make it a little friendlier. So you're not scrolling vertically, but you're not scrolling horizontally, so it makes it a little friendlier to kind of go through all that, and you can pull up each one of these different things. They kind of have the same idea. You got the vertical layout in the mobile mode. So that's all well and good. And I want to show you a couple of things when we go through here as I do this. So I'm going to go ahead and open the tickets over here on the left-hand side. We've got our standard all tickets screen that we have in our IT Help Desk out-of-the-box application. And you can see it's this kind of what you're used to with the layout. We can go ahead and open this up. And he's got the standard ticket, nothing special there, nothing too crazy going on here. I delay things out a little differently in this versus our out-of-the-box application, just to play around with what different stylings might look like. But essentially, there's nothing different here than we have in our standard out-of-the-box application. So we haven't configured anything too crazy there. But what I want to point out to you is if we go back a step and do the same thing over here in the mobile, we're going to that same all tickets screen. But you can see we've got a slightly different layout here for the list of tickets. And we only have one, but you can see that this laptop keyboard stuck ticket is there in both places, just looks a little differently. And we like this layout for the mobile side because it is a little more, well, it's actually kind of in line with what Power Apps has. That's kind of where we got the idea actually, is to have a layout like this in the Power App side. But I'll show you where you can change this layout and have a slightly different piece of information shown on the screen over here. Similar to changing views in SharePoint, you can do that with the standard SharePoint views to change it in this web part on the left, and on the right you can do it through the mobile mode settings, which I'll walk through. Now, if we open up the ticket, I'll do over here on the mobile as well. You see we got slightly different interface. I'll walk through this too, where we have a potentially different layout based on being in a mobile screen versus a desktop screen. You can actually have tabs shown in the mobile screen and not in the desktop screen, and vice versa. So you'll see here we have 3 tabs that I've created at the top that are designed for the mobile interface. And then you don't see, well, you do see the related items because that is shown in both, but mobile tab and ticket photos are only shown in the mobile mode and not shown in the desktop mode. So you can see you got that differentiation there. And then you'll also notice that on the associated items, I'll show you what it looks like over here too, associated tasks, you got a slightly different look and feel, but it's still same items. Use compressed errors, clean under stuck key. Someone has a stuck keyboard, so there are different tasks associated with trying to get that key unstuck or whatever it is. So you got those 3 different tasks and kind of different layouts for that. But same items, just different, different interface. That's really what the mobile mode is all about, is having those different different layouts for the same information. But the form itself has more to it in the sense that you can actually hide or show whole tabs based on where you are in the process, whether on the mobile screen or on the desktop. All right, so I'll go back a second on this. And a couple of things I will show you a little bit, a couple layouts, but all of them kind of derive from this mobile mode interface that you have within the list view settings, within that associated item settings. I'll show you that on the Nitro form. But what we can do here is I can edit this screen and bring you to the edit settings for this list view web part. And let me just open this up over here as well. And so you can see this list view is here, and we have this mobile mode option. So this is where you're getting those settings from for the mobile mode for this list view on the right-hand side. So all these other settings are going to be there for desktop mostly, but for mobile mode, you're going to have a few different setting options that you can put in place. First of all, of course, you have to enable it. You can toggle that on or off if you don't want to use a different view in mobile. And essentially what that looks like, if you were to not turn on mobile mode, it would just look like that on your screen. So you can see there's a side-by-side comparison. Here's what without mobile mode turned on, what it looks like. Here's with it mobile mode turned on, what it looks like. So you see it's a little different. Not quite as friendly. You can't see as much information. You have to scroll to the right. Wait, okay. You kind of have to scroll to the right and get things. Look at things, horizontally, which it seems like people tend to prefer the vertical mode than the horizontal. I do, at least. It makes a little more sense to me. But my browser kind of won't work for me right now. Let me see if I can get over to those settings in a different way. So let me go pop over to our Nitro apps and go to list view. So bear with me a moment while it goes over there. Okay, there we go. Go down to list view, and I'll get that particular setting back up on the screen. There we go. Okay. I believe it's all tickets. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so we got that particular list view that we're configuring. We've got what are we considering as the size of the mobile screen? Maybe you have larger devices or smaller devices that have the different pixel size that you want to consider as your mobile screen max size of that screen. Once it goes beyond that size, it'll revert back to the desktop size. So if you want to show the mobile type interface like this on a tablet, you might want to expand that mobile mode max size screen width to show this look and feel on a larger screen. We're going to pick our view, which is which view of the list. Now, right now with the mobile interface, you have only the option for the one list, not one list view, not multiple list views. There's also a normal or compact mode. We can kind of see what the difference is there. You can just show title, or you can just, what we're doing over here is we're showing a few other pieces of information about that item right in the front. You see you got the case ID right there, as corresponds to the number 11, who the requester is, which is the admin account that we have for our demo environment. We have the category of that ticket right there, so you got some information right there in front of the person, so they know what they're. I have my phone in my hand, so I actually turned it a little bit, and that's what happened. So you see, I'm emulating my screen. It's not just smoke and mirrors here. You have your subtitle row value separator, so you can see I put piping in there, but we could change that to a period. We could change that to a dash if you thought a dash made more sense. You do a dash in between. I'll save these settings and clear the cache so you can see what it looks like. With that, I think with the compact mode you don't have that option of a separator, so I'll leave that there for now so you can see what that looks like. And then you have a sort column. So if you have multiple items, how are you sorting them in this view? So go ahead and save those settings real quick. Let me go and clear the NITRO cache if I can, if it'll allow me to. Might not. Let me go ahead and duplicate this tab and go into the site settings. Let me refresh this on my phone just in case it does actually refresh itself. Kind of do the things in parallel here. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it worked. All right. So I didn't even have to really reset the cache, but you can see there's the difference. I just changed that over to the dashes instead of the piping. So you can change that layout and put whatever separator you want in there. Now those similar settings are going to be there for a few other web parts that we have. The associated items that you see in the form, the list search actually will have that too. Let me show you on the screen. They'll go into what the form has in it and show you those mobile tabs as well. So if we go into the list search web part, which I'll pull up over here on my device as well. So search tickets, go over here. They'll let me. A little funky today, I apologize for that. All right, so here you go, search tickets web part. You can see from the simple responsiveness of the page, it's hiding some of the elements up here at the top and the mobile screen. And we've scrunched this view down a little bit, but you'll see it's going to have a different layout when you have keyboard. Let's see, you do search over here, you got your search results down below. And I'll do the same thing, keyboard, get the same results. This is going to take a minute. But it'll have that similar kind of layout that we were just looking at with that list view with the compact mode. You're going to have all those same settings essentially available for you in the mobile mode as well. I'm not sure why it's taking its time. Something I don't know, my computer decided to be a pain in the butt for this particular workshop, so I apologize for that. But while that's loading over here, I'll show you. It's going to be essentially the same settings we were just looking at. I'll just kind of show you what that looks like again, if I can. It's always the way. This was working fine just before this workshop. Oh my, all right. Well, that's okay. You kind of get the point. It's going to look the same. It's going to have the same kind of layout for the list view that we saw before. You can and you can extend this concept also over to the roll-up list view. Let me see. Maybe open a new link for that and see if that'll work any differently than some of these other things. Other web pages are having a problem. All right, come on. I don't like this background. Go away. Oh gosh, oh, there we go. Okay. All of a sudden decided to not really work all that well for me. Huh. All right. So you see you got the list view web part over here. We're going to do the task. So this is staff workspace is what this is. But I've got a roll-up view here. And we're going to do the pull up on my mobile as well. So you see, it's got the same kind of concept where you have the a different kind of layout. You got the piping in between, which you can change to something else. Basically the same idea, but it makes it look a little friendlier. You got you can move up and down the items. You can add new items from here, so you can see you can hit a new ticket, create a new ticket or a problem ticket. So what we're doing there is we're rolling up a tickets list and a problem tickets list into one view. But you can see you can go in there and open up a new one and add what you need to add. Of course, our mobile interface doesn't have much information or anything really that to fill out, because that's what I configured for the form. But I would go in and fix that, of course, if I want people to actually fill out a form for this. Right. So let me show you that other side of it as well, since you kind of see the options with the view mode here. Let me show you some of the other modes, other options that you have with the form interface. Let me just expand this out a little bit so it makes it a little bigger. And you'll see in the edit mode for the form, you're going to see all the tabs that you have, whether they're mobile mode or not. Each one of them, though, if you go into the settings, configure, you have the option to display in. So that's where this is coming from, that display in. And you can display it only in the desktop, only in the tablet or mobile mode, or you can choose to do it in both. By default, we have both turned on, so that way whether you're accessing the form from a mobile device or a desktop, it's going to show you the same form and the same information. You don't have to recreate two different forms, but there may be cases where you want to do that. For instance, if you have employees going out into the field, it happens a lot in like our facilities, customers who are using their tickets for work orders, they'll go out into the field and take a picture or something, or will have different things that they need to fill out. So of course, like if you have a photo camera attachment button, which we have over here, it's going to actually invoke the device's camera, which you might not want on a desktop, but you may want on a mobile device when you're going to like take a picture of some fault or something like that. And I'll show you what that actually looks like. If we come over here to one of these tickets, it's going to show me that mobile mode. So actually invoke, I'm just going to take a picture of my desk right here so you can see it. Oh, it's pulling up those things. Somehow signed me out right ahead of this webinar, so I apologize for that. All right, so some sign-in issues, some access issues. That's probably what's going on over here too. It just is choking up on some permission to access things. That's a little frustrating, of course. Wait, let me try it now. See if it makes a difference. No, it wants to access my my gallery. It was actually taking a picture earlier. I swear. No. Okay. Anyway. So you can see you can show the different tabs over here as needed. You got a mobile tab, you got related items, but those are all coming from the context of the form, where you have the choice to display it on desktop or on a tablet or on both. So it gives you some control over what people are interacting with, what they're seeing based on maybe what their needs are, how they're using the product, how they're interacting with it. So you got some options there to configure it as a mobile mode. Of course, in standard scenario, even you're going to have your device, your form resized to the correct size screen anyway. So the form will always kind of like right size itself, but this gives you a way to maybe control what information is shown based on whether the person's interacting it from a mobile or not. Anyway, so we also made a few changes to the way the custom actions, these were not coming up in a really clear way on a mobile device. It was like big and off the screen, and now we've designed that to make it look a little nicer for the mobile device. So you can see that there. And then also another big change is this email manager. This also was not optimized for a mobile device, but this is another item we released over the last within the last 2 months or so. We got these things out there where you have more of this kind of mobile. Of course, the big rich text box is a little different, but that's kind of hard to overcome when there's a lot of options there in that bit rich text control. But you'll see that everything else sort of right sizes itself for the screen, and then you can interact with it as you would any other form on a mobile kind of device. Yeah, so those are the things I wanted to show you on the mobility side of things. And if there's anything else any questions you have or anything else that you're hoping to see, happy to jump into it now. I do apologize. We had some issues with the signing in and permission, so couldn't show you everything. You can see the all tickets view is still loading over here. Search tickets is up over here. Okay, so that's good. Let's kind of show you the similar kind of mobile mode that we have in here. So you can enable that, have the compact. So all the same kind of settings we were just talking about in the list view are available here as well. And I'll also point out that that's all there for the associated items. And basically anywhere where you're accessing a view of tickets, where you're listing them out in a way that would be not look that great on mobile device, we gave you this mobile mode option so that you can configure it to look better in a mobile device. So you can have all those features there available now in the latest versions of Nitro. I think these came out a few versions ago. So if you're on the latest version of Nitro, you should be good to go. I think even the most recent, definitely the most recent on-prem version, I think even the on-prem version before that had all this stuff in it as well. So you should be good to go to see all this stuff in your site. If you want to go start playing with it and configuring it and making it mobile friendly, you can go ahead and do that. No restrictions there. And certainly Nitro is always, as you know, is always a work in progress. So if you have any specific feedback or anything that you want to see differently or have work differently in the mobile device or anywhere else in the product, we're happy to take and solicit feedback from our customers and incorporate that into our development cycle as needed. But we're always happy to get that feedback. So certainly anything that you want to send our way, happy to receive it. But again, I think we'll just kind of keep it short and sweet on this webinar today. If you have any follow-up questions, certainly let us know. But I wanted to just extend my appreciation for everyone coming out today to listen to me blather on about mobile devices and mobile screens. And if you, happy to hear from you and hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out today. I appreciate it. Take care.